So now we've got all our components for the finger jointed box sides. We're going to join them together so we can make a lid and a base. So I'm going to use join, and I'm going to join the two corners here. Now if you get a weird flip like this, try the flip button down here and it should bring it together. So if I have joined those two corners from the top, you can see that there's that slight overlap which is making up our kerf. We haven't really calculated the kerf from the inside edge, so whether the 8mm material is going to sit flush, but because we've done 8mm each side, it will at the moment sit together. So the rest is going to move, so let's have a look. Join inside corner to that corner, and last one. Remember, if it flips, click flip button, and that's brought it together, except for I've joined the wrong side here. If you do make a mistake like this, just delete the joint that's the mistake and put the right one on. Okay, that's looking better. So we're going to plan to put a lid on this first. So what I'm going to do is come across to this one here and right click and go new component. Call this one lid. So the lid we can draw on this top surface. So I've selected the surface and clicked new sketch, capture position, and the lid here will draw from the inside. I know the size of this is 54 on inside to inside, so I'll label that up appropriately. And I'll also label it to the side that I started the sketch on, so it sits fully constrained in that position. Once I've got that, I'm going to extrude it downwards. And you can see that's like a little lid that fits in there. The next thing I'm going to do is draw some tabs that will kind of align with the outside components. So if I click on the component again and go sketch, I'm going to draw two construction lines. I've highlighted the construction button. I'm clicking in the center here so you can see a little triangle constraint has come up. That means it's going to be like a center line straight to the middle. I'm going to rectangle and draw this like little tab in here. It's not going to select this outside piece because it's not the sketch or not on the same kind of component that we're working on, so we have to manually do the measurement. I'm going to make them 10mm. Actually, I think I might make them 20. And then this one here, I could write 10 in there, or I could click the 20 and press divided by 2, and that kind of makes sure it's centered. I'm going to go through and do that same process to all the other sides. Using tab to tab between the measurements. Notice when I start the rectangle, I'm starting on the inside. Now I'm going to use D or click dimension. Do these inside ones. Finish that sketch and extrude. And go down -8. Make sure it's on join. Click OK. So now I've got that, I can move it out and I can focus on each of these components. So I'm going to activate the component and then click Sketch, select the bottom, capture position, zoom in. We're going to get that construction line going to start with. Make sure you snaps to the triangle. Turn the construction off and we can draw 2 more lines. It doesn't need to be a rectangle this time. And what I've just done is put the dimensions in here. So 10 would be the full size, so 10 each side. We want to allow for a kerf of 0.2, so 9.8, and I have duplicated this by referencing it and pressing enter. Finish sketch. I'm going to click extrude and extrude this down -8 millimeters for the thickness of the material. You can see it's done it to the other side too, because this is a direct copy of these 2 components. I'm going to do the same to this one, so click the component, see what's underlined and activate that component. It's always important to activate the component that you're drawing on. Then we're going to click the sketch button and choose that surface. Zoom in on it, we use the construction line. Wait until you get the triangle, it means you've got the halfway point. Turn off the construction line constraint. Put the 2 lines in anywhere there. I'm going to put my 9.8 in. And with the dimension tool, also do this one, but just reference it by clicking the other one. Finish sketch, extrude, click the extrusion, pull down, and we want to go -8. And it's done both of them because we did a paste for those components. So now I have clicked and activated my overall assembly. I can check that the lid fits on nicely. Obviously it's going to be better to use a constraint to do that, a joint, sorry. So I'm going to join this little edge here to this edge here. Make sure it's orientated in the right way. You might need to rotate your model a bit. So that looks pretty good to me. Now if I wanted to do the same for the bottom, I'd just run through the same process again, except for I can duplicate this lid by copying. Now I want to put a coin slot in this for a money box. So if I go paste here, I can actually go paste new, because when I do an edit to this component later, I'm just going to pull it across to the side. When I activate this component and do a sketch here for a coin slot, I might want to do the coin slot from edge to edge just to be different. I can make that a construction line by clicking on it and clicking the construction line. I'm going to use a center point rectangle here. Find the center and come out this way. And I know a 50-cent coin is about 29 millimeters. And if I get rid of these constraints here by pressing delete, I should be able to pivot these around. That's not working how I want it to, but we can make it work by going into, let me think about this, collinear. Should be a parallel here. So I'll press escape first, and here's parallel. So parallel to this line. And this one, parallel to this line. And then perpendicular. And this one perpendicular. It's a long way about going around this, but we're getting there. Not quite sure how thick a coin is, but we'll go 3 millimeters. Sketch, and we're going to extrude through this one. So we've got a coin slot there, and it shouldn't have updated the base of my project because we did that paste new instead of just a simple paste. Alright, so last thing to do for this box is, let's do a save quickly. We want to do exactly what we did to the bottom before. I'm not sure, I think we've actually flipped this one over, but we are going to cut those fingers into the top now to make sure that component's active, and we'll go through the same process. I won't record this whole thing. I won't talk you through it as much. So I've just finished off those finger joints in the top, just as I did the base. Use the same joining method with this one. You might even want to go revolute with this one. Shows that it pivots it around. If it doesn't open, you'll have to ground one component. So normally your first one's the best one to do. Click ground. It's the second from the top if it came off the screen just then. Capture position, and now you should see that pivot. So that is a basic tutorial on making the lids and assembly. Next video will cover how to lay it out for like laser cutting.